We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Me and Johnny here doing What the Hell episode. And
that was deep, dude. That was
sexy, wasn't it?
Yeah. And for those of you on video, watching us on video, I mean, I haven't even changed. I just got home from the Red Sox Astros game here in Houston. Red Sox. Oh my God, dude. I'm not going to go into it right now because that's what our show on Monday is about. But good Lord, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try to tackle the Maui stuff. This is the problem with information, how it's gathered nowadays since we got the internet. And everybody can post their theories and their ideology and everything.
Yeah, everybody's everybody's posting their own ideas about it. You know, what caused it, why it was caused, you know, how the government's reacting. But I no, I'm sorry.
You know what? Let's see the dress online, and
She's not going to step in front of the camera with the dress on because I didn't give her the proper response. Is that the only one that you ordered? Oh, that's Misty's. I mean, I like it.
Send the photo and just let the people decide.
I am not putting this up for a vote. I don't know. I mean, no. You know what? Just get over here. Get over here. All right.
You look stylish.
It
looks very, very good on you.
Very, very good. You're going to get me in trouble because that was a way better response than I gave.
That's because I'm not doing anything. It's not a life and death situation. That's the reason why I gave it.
But it could be my life and death of marital relations situation.
See, I don't have to sleep in the same bed as her, and I don't have to worry about getting my throat cut. So
great. Now I've got to wear my Schmagata bed. I got to put level 3 plates underneath the sheets.
That's the best kind of relationship.
Look, it is not Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
You got to realize, and everybody has to realize, and you should know by now that I am a psychosexual where I go after the crazies, and I say stuff to where it should get me killed, and that excites me.
So you identify as a therapist?
No, therapist actually fixes things. Me, I kind of make it work. So
No, they don't. No, they don't. No.
well, they're supposed to fix things. Me, on the other hand, I'm that guy that basically she's like, "Oh, is this nice?"
She's high,
No.
crazy, and I may not have a kidney or a toaster in the morning, but it was totally worth it. Kind of a guy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, pretty much. Yes, that is spot on.
Well,
I mean, the best
sounds like
sex
what's
that you
going
have-
on in Maui. Personally, I happen to think that these were purposely set. Now, whether it is arsonists going out and doing their thing or directed energy weapons beaming down from either high altitude.
You're not far. You're not far gone on the arson stuff.
Right.
Because
Here's
a
the
lot
thing.
of-
You had a lot of celebrities that painted their roofs and coated their properties in a particular shade of blue. Nothing on their property even got so much as singed.
Yeah.
Okay. Oprah Winfrey is one of the largest. She's a large woman, but she's one of the largest landowners on the island of Maui. I mean, the United States government is only the third largest owner of land on that island.
Yeah.
Okay. The mayor of Lahana. Anyway, he's not holding town hall meetings. He's meeting with real estate developers. I mean, they descended upon this island. Joe Biden saying, well, the citizens of the island of Maui are only worth about $700. He's compensating from the he says the government will pay you $700 to relocate.
That's the FEMA fund. I mean, in certain situations like this, they're giving like they're allowed to give them like $700, which is still taxed. So they're only gonna get like close to like 60% of that. And that's supposed to help for like a couple of days and nights to stay in a hotel or whatnot. Another thing that people are getting upset about right now is that the FEMA people are in like 5 to 4 star hotels, and that's probably the only hotels that are actually available at this time. It's a natural disaster. There's going to be havoc stuff, and people are being judgy on a lot of stuff. Like the FEMA staying in really ritzy hotels that are in the beach side is like, oh, I can't believe they're allowed to do that. I'm like, what probably happens, and I worked in services, and I had to do it once, was set people up in outside hotels because the base hotels were packed, and what was going on was there was a big event, lots of military personnel, and I had to set people up. And what happens is because they're government officials and they're getting a lot of discounts on these, and they're just putting up spaces and everything. They're getting these hotel rooms for very cheap so they can actually help and benefit the people of Maui. Does it sucks that we can't get these discounts? Yes, but it's a natural disaster. You can't help that.
No, I mean, you can't.
I was talking about how FEMA is in like 5-star hotels and how they got it like on the cheap because it's a natural disaster. People are upset with
okay.
that.
Well, here's the thing. FEMA is going staying in 5-star hotels, but their director gets arrested by the United States Marine Corps because he's directing his people to stop aiding and providing food and water and all this, the necessities to the survivors of this fire.
Yeah, it's a dick move.
He's there's also
my thing is
there's also a thing going around about just incinerating bodies because they don't want to allocate the resources to identifying these individuals so that way their loved ones have definitive answer. Closure. Exactly. And instead, we've got, a couple of thousand kids that are just missing. We've got people that are displaced. We've got missing individuals. I mean, entire families have just disappeared. Okay.
Yeah.
We had people that were herded like cattle onto Front Street, and then they were blockaded by the police.
Well,
The flames, the wind, and the fire, or the flames, the wind, and the embers were coming up over the buildings, landing on the vehicles, landing on the people. They were having to jump into the water, and then the ripped currents were taking them out to sea.
Yeah. Well,
So, now we're okay. So at that point, you remove us from the land, you put us in the water, you take us from the top of the food chain, and you put us down here a couple of notches. And for what? Real estate developers are talking about making a smart city. I mean, there's the cover up on this is going to be of biblical proportions. Okay. And it's kind of like the 2020 election. Okay. We can't talk about it, and it's like PayPal. Okay. PayPal came out with their new terms and conditions. And if on any of your social media platforms you say anything about COVID, the 2020 election, they can reserve the right to fine you $2,500. Well, people are like, well, I don't have $2,500 in my PayPal account. No, but they have your banking information. They can reach into your bank account and take $2,500 because they deemed your language inflammatory. And it's like, okay, with the government of Hawaii, I mean, the governor comes in, he doesn't care. Oh, I had to cut my Boston vacation short. Who fucking cares, dude? You are the governor of a state. You are the governor of the 50th state in this nation. And if it weren't for the fact that the United States military safeguarded that island chain, every single one of you swinging dicks would be speaking Japanese to this day. Every single one of you. And when I lived in Hawaii, my dad was stationed at Pearl Harbor. When we lived there, I mean, literally, they ranked almost at the very bottom as far as the nation's educational systems were concerned. Okay. My dad went back there just before he retired from the Navy. When his ship was out to sea, they stopped at Pearl Harbor. He went to King Kamehameha School, right? It's a K through 12 school. I went there for kindergarten and first grade. Okay. Kindergarten, first and second grade. So,
you went to Hawaii?
I lived in Hawaii. Yeah, both of my sisters were born in Honolulu. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
cool.
not specifically Honolulu. They were born at Tripler Army Hospital. There, because there's Tripler, there's Hickam Air Force Base, and then there's Pearl Harbor, which is the naval base.
Okay.
But I mean, one of the things that they prided themselves on, the big trophy in the middle of their trophy case, bed racing. Like, how like the
You
Red
mean you tell me that there was a
you know how Red Bull's got the flute and tog, right?
yeah.
Okay, so you put wheels on a bed and you race it down a hill.
You tell me you had like a secret weird sports and you didn't fucking tell me. That's what I'm upset about.
Oh well, we can, sir. We can. I'll do the research on bed racing and I'll send it to you. But
Okay.
point is,
I'm looking at it right now.
Hawaii does not give two shakes of a rat's dick about its citizens. Okay, if it did, then the crime rate wouldn't be nearly as high. They would allow their citizens to arm themselves. The only thing that they care about is appeasing the elite and their tourism dollars. That's it.
Yeah, that's the other bad thing about having
the city of Honolulu about damn near burned itself to the ground when the NFL said we're not going to come back for the Pro Bowl.
Really?
Yeah, because the Pro Bowl used to be played in Honolulu every year,
Yeah.
and then they moved it to Miami. One, it makes more fiscal sense because now you don't have guys, teams, and the NFL expending a ton of money to fly things and themselves over to the island of Oahu
Yeah.
to play a meaningless game. Attendance was going down because nobody wants to fly to Hawaii, for a football game. I mean, you kidding me? No. There was a running joke when I used to live there. It was, for the first couple of weeks, you're on the island. It's great. Then after that, you start calling it the Rock.
Yeah, I was only on Hawaii for like 2 weeks, and I was like, "Oh, this is." It took me like 2 days. I was like, "Oh, this is really nice." And then someone was like, they pulled me aside and they showed me around and everything, and showed me all the prices of everything. And
Like
if I
$7 a gallon for milk.
yeah, I was like, oh.
I mean, gas is atrocious over there because everything's got to get shipped over.
Yeah. Which, I mean, coming from all the thing that got me on this though is, yes, it's a land grab. Now, is it going to happen each and every time that we have natural disasters? You especially should know this. The Terrible Tuesday. We had that big thing, Terrible Tuesday. And there was a lot of scammers, even back in the 1979.
Well, yeah, but that's for people like foundation repair, rebuilding your house, re-roofing your home.
Yeah.
You had your insurance, car insurance scams going on. We're talking about insurance. There's reports coming out of Maui that the insurance company is telling the residents there that now all of a sudden that they've got zoning infractions, and that now the insurance companies are apparently off the hook and they do not have to pay on these homeowner policies, these auto policies, renters insurance. I'm sorry, what zoning infractions? And if there was a zoning infraction and nobody was made aware of it, what does that say about the city government there? People go there because they want a little piece of paradise. And instead, it's a certified liberal hell. My wife and I want to take our family to Hawaii for vacation one year, but I'm not feeling it, man, because I'll be too worried about letting the kids get more than 10 feet away from me out of fear that somebody's going to snatch them up.
Yeah.
And Hawaii is not one of those states that likes to reciprocate concealed carry licenses. And I'll be damned if some tweaker decides, or somebody wants to snatch one of my kids up or snatch my wife or my sister-in-law up and sell them off, and I'm going to be there unable to return fire, or at least lay down some suppressive fire while my family gets away. It's Hawaii is a nice place to visit as long as you don't leave the resort, because then you're getting the touristy, shined up, spit polished, version of Hawaii. It's not even, you're not even getting the you're not even getting the version of Hawaii that you see on Hawaii 5-0 or Magnum PI. It's a dangerous place. And if you don't know any better and you end up even on a block that you're unfamiliar with, and you just happen to be there at the wrong time.
Yeah.
You go to Hawaii for a luau and you stay because you got shot. And it's like Chicago. You go up there for the pizza and you stay because you got shot. But it's what they're doing. It's obvious. Everybody can see it. There's no smoking gun. And I find it very hard to believe that, I mean, then they just used the whole hurricane that passed a couple of 100 miles north of the island as the reason. Like, oh, yeah, I mean, you're going to get winds coming off the outer bands, but it's Hawaii. It's the island of Maui. You don't necessarily associate that with any discernible amount of drought. It's not like they're living in Texas. So I don't know. It's it I mean, you've got, I mean, it's just the fact that, I mean, Governor Josh Green, he was like, well, and this was 3 days ago, more than 1,000 are still unaccounted, accounted for. Many of them are children that were home from school and they may never be found. And it's like, you look at this guy and it's, he almost acts like he can't be bothered to be there. And
Well, even what was it? Chris sent me a thing that was it the sheriff or the I'm looking it up right now. It was either the sheriff or the police commissioner. He was at the time during that mass shooting in Las Vegas.
He was the mayor. He was the sheriff of Las Vegas.
And now he's trying to do it on be the sheriff there, and he's failing miserably again.
Yeah, I mean,
there's on this. It was a big fire, and going on the fact of how it started. They have discrepancies on that because people want to put the conspiracies. Nothing against you or anybody else that wants to, they see certain things. And the thing that started the fire was high winds. And the same thing happened down here in Electra. They lost I think 3,300 acres.
Mm-hmm.
Wind caught onto the electrical poles. From what they said in a couple of documents, they didn't close down the power as soon as they had high winds. The fire pumps or the fire hydrants wasn't getting any kind of water through, so they couldn't get water to spray the land. And yes, if you connect all this information and everything, it sounds like a horrible, horrible fucking master plan for a land grab. I'm literally saying like Superman 1 type land grab instead of like using missiles. It does seem like
Lexfornia. Yeah, no, I totally get it, and it does sound like that.
It sounds like a cheesy
the way
right,
but the way that these people are being treated now,
yes,
as survivors, they are trying to unbury their lives in hopes to rebuild not only their homes but their city.
Yeah, and they're just coming up with roadblocks.
Completely, roadblock after roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. FEMA's denying them aid. The governor's not helping them. The president's saying, "Well, I'll give you $700," and it's almost like
that
throw pocket change at these street urchins so they'll leave me alone.
Yeah,
and now the insurance companies are coming in and saying, "Well, hold on a minute. On this day, you picked your nose, and that's a zoning infraction because you're not rated for medical medical practices. We're not going to pay on your policy." And you got all these real estate developers coming in. You've got celebrities coming in that are like, well, I just kind of want this. There was, let me see here. There was something, and there's already a book about the Maui fires. It's on Amazon. This is from from the Twitter page, Ultra MJ Truth. It's at MJ Truth Ultra. This is dated the 21st.
You got to be fucking me.
No, it's published on August 10th, 2023. It's only 44 pages, and I guess it could be put together that quick. Most likely garbage AI, but still kind of suspect to me, so it made the list. It's I mean it's going for $13 on Amazon. Let me see here. It's paperback and Kindle version. But the publication date was August 10th. It's like, okay. And then let me see here. Now the power companies are now being sued because they failed to de-energize the power lines during the storm.
That's what I was getting at too.
Here. Dr. M. Kilo Manuel, the Hawaii water official, he explains his philosophy about water equity. Let me see here. It says, quote, "Let water connect us and not divide us," said Manuel, referring to water distribution on the island. "We can share it, but it requires true conversations about equality, or equity, rather. Equity. How do we coexist with the resources we have?" A former Obama Foundation leader, part of a program by the former president's nonprofit to help participants with coaching and practical skill building for social change. Manuel said that he considered water an important tool for social justice. Like, how fucked in the head do you have to be to use a necessity for life as a tool for social justice? Like,
you're absolutely right on that. What the fuck? Because as you were saying it, I was like, what was he? Is he being truthful?
Yeah, because it's being reported that he.
How the fuck can he publicize?
Well, it's being reported that he initially refused to release the water in the Maui fires because of a, quote, water standoff between the DLNR Water Division and West Maui Land Company. DLNR delayed releasing water requested by West Maui Land Corp to help prevent the spread of fire, per the report. Now, this Manuel guy wanted West Maui Land to get permission from a Taro or a Kalo farm located downstream from the company's property. Manuel eventually released the water, but not until after the damage had already been done. And like, he's sitting there going, I know that you're on fire and everything, but I really want you to jump through my red tape hoops. And he projected some pretty small dick energy right there.
Yeah.
Now,
because I'm sorry that it's just unbelievable how some people act.
Right now, in
times of crisis.
Terms of land ownership on the island of Maui. After the state of Hawaii, who owns over 154,000 acres on Maui, it's Alexander and Baldwin. It's the second largest owner at over 65,000 acres, and the U.S. government is the third largest landowner at over 33,000 acres. Now, of note, Alexander and Baldwin Incorporated. They're listed as ALEX on NASDAQ. Top institutional shareholders. Now you got BlackRock Incorporated, Vanguard Group, and State Street Corporation. They're all the top three in that order. Shareholders in that company. Now, you're like, okay, well, what do those companies mean to me? Let's see here. BlackRock is one of the world's preeminent, this is from their page, blackrock.com. Yeah, except cookies, whatever. Shut up. Let's see here. About us. About BlackRock. It is one of the world's leading providers of investment advisory and risk management solutions. We are a fiduciary to our clients. We're investing for the future on behalf of our clients, inspiring our employees, and supporting our local communities. Our purpose is to help more and more people experience financial well-being together with our clients. We're contributing to a more equitable and resilient world today and for generations to come. One of the other companies that's listed on that list is the Vanguard Group. You've got let me see here. Vanguard Group. Let me see here. It's another investment company. Actually, let me do this. Vanguard Group Incorporated. It's an American registered investment advisor based in Malvern, Pennsylvania, with about $7.7 trillion in global assets under management as of April 2023. Now, their CEO, Mortimer J. Buckley, he's been at the helm of the company since January 2018. They're actually based out of Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. They make $6.936 billion US annual revenue. And then we've got that final company, State Street Corporation. Let's see here. Type. I don't. Okay. State Street Corporation is it's an American financial services and bank holding company headquartered at 1 Congress Street in Boston, with operations worldwide. That's why I thought State Street. Yeah, I know that street. Anyway, it's the second oldest continually operating United States bank. Its predecessor, Union Bank, was founded in 1792. Let me see here. Their annual revenue is about $12.5 billion every year. Their total assets are $37.6 billion, and that's as of March 31st. And I mean, you've got 3 heavy hitters, all part of this Alexander and Baldwin Incorporated.
Yeah.
So I find it very hard to swallow that the people who own homes on the island of Maui do business with these companies. I think that, you're going to have your heavy hitters, your high profile celebrities like your Oprah Winfrey's, your the Obama family. Hard pressed to tell me that Michelle's not Michael. Come on. But you've got a lot of you got a lot of red flags, out there, and it's not. They're not smoking guns, but they're red flags, and they're waving, dude. And it's, just like you're down at the beach, you get a red flag warning, you don't go in the water.
Sorry.
And no, you're good. I mean, you don't go in the water, like, period. It's not advantageous for normal people like you and I who try to even think about remotely owning a home on the island of Maui or in the in the state of Hawaii, period. And that includes all of their islands, but it's they're like, okay, now to add to the conspiracy theories out there, I'd put on a tinfoil hat, but I'm too lazy to go get one. But January 28th of this year, there was a lot of mysterious green lasers spotted over the skies of Mauna Kea, which is a city in Maui. Nobody has any explanations. NASA came out and said, we don't know what you're talking about.
And if you remember back at the first of the year, that's when we started seeing a lot of these Chinese spy balloons, right? So it's there's conflicting reports from NASA. The first week that they insisted that it was one of their satellites, but ultimately declared likely a Chinese satellite. A week later, and it was almost immediately before they started being, these spy balloons started popping up all over the mainland of America.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, in the tweet, where there's smoke, there's fire. So you've got all of these red flags, all of these just blaringly obvious and just blatant signs that something here doesn't add up.
Well,
two and two still make four, not five, not three. Okay. Just like in Monty Python, when they told us to pull out the holy hand grenade of Antioch, that was, we'll pull the pin and count to five. Is it count to three? Yes, count to three. Not four. Definitely not five, but three, and so it's do what now?
So I love that reference.
So you've got a lot of these red flags and just these things that don't add up. It's like the old highlights magazines when you were a kid and you had to go to the dentist, and they had that section in the back, like which of these does not belong, and it was like a Where's Waldo, where you had to find the odd little objects that didn't belong in the picture. The problem with a big government being the way that it is that they feel like now they have institutionalized their power. They've institutionalized their influence, their presence. And even though they rely on us for them to keep their job, they look down on us. They don't work for us anymore. We bow down to them. And it's somehow like they have been ordained by God himself upon high, that when they spend so many, for example, like Bernie Sanders, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, none of these jackasses have held a single private sector job in their lives. Oh, I like that one. Go with that. Yeah, that one. I like that one with the single straps. I like that one more for me, but I think that's the one right there. Okay, so it's long. You can pull it off. That one. I like that one. Okay. So for our listeners and viewers, I'm giving my wife my discerning, earnest, and legitimately enthusiastic opinion about dresses for a wedding that we've got coming up.
Don't forget fearful.
No, it's not got nothing to do with fear.
But going on a lot of people saying that the Air Force laser or our government lasing the valleys and creating the fires. The United States does have that capacity, and they had it since 2021. They started up the project in 2015, and they're saying that they had them on C17, C-130s until the technology minimizes. They were trying to get them on the F-15s, F-16s, and F-35s. But
So you talking about
so
like the reflector that's on the nose of the aircraft?
yes, that's
They pulled the
one of them,
Congress.
yes.
Excuse me. The United States government pulled the funding from that project back in 2022. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah,
So,
I wasn't finished with the article, but yeah.
oh, sorry. By all means, please go ahead.
No.
No,
I
I didn't mean
interrupt
to
you.
interrupt you. No.
I
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm so sorry.
no. I'm good.
See, we should know this about each other by now. Our ebbs and flows and our pentameter and our timing.
It's
Please,
horrible.
by all means, good sir, go for it.
But we've had like the designs and everything. Even though they scrapped, they still have the planes. Like it's seriously unlikely. I mean, they would have to be really counting out our government officials now, who's in office, the administration right now. Would they actually do it? Yes, they've already done stupid things so far in the beginning of the administration, and it just got worse and worse and worse. But yeah, I
That
don't
notwithstanding, that point notwithstanding, David,
I know.
the fact that
just-
we've got a bumbling idiot in the White House.
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact of all the stupid shit they've been doing, it would be hard to believe. I mean,
Well, here's my point.
JFK, well, my point is this: JFK stopped a literal nuclear strike on like Cuba. Well, no,
Well, no, it wasn't. It was an invasion. It
they
was
were
a CIA-backed invasion, so it was called the Bay of Pigs.
no, they were gonna blow up a American plane and blame it on Cuba so they can go over and attack Cuba. That was an actual thing. I mean, even Nixon was. They got drunk one night and they said, "Oh, we're probably gonna just drop a couple of nukes on North Vietnam and call it a day." And they were like, "We'll put a pin on that and we'll figure out what we're gonna do the next morning." I mean, has there been government officials that had like stupid ideas and luckily some of the administration stopped it? Yes. And this administration, on the other hand,
They can't get out of their own way to save their lives.
I mean, look at
You have a mildly competent press secretary who is doing her best to toe the party line because her life depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're not even sure who's actually pulling the strings of that marionette by the name of Joe Biden, I wouldn't put it past our more clandestine sections of our government to go, you know what? Now's the time, because even though the cat's here, he's strung out on catnip and not really aware of what's going on. The guy can barely ride a bike and keep from shitting his pants on the golf course. Let's do A, B, and C and see what we can get away with. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. It's the biggest stretch of all of the, theories that are out there. Well, next to, aliens, but I mean, because if you remember, just conveniently, like about a month or two before this, these fires happened, there was a congressional hearing about aliens are real. Like, yeah. So, I mean, I can see where, I'm not saying that that's where it's coming from. I'm not even saying that these, what blatantly appear to be directed energy beams, just coming straight out of nowhere. Because I mean, you're like, okay, well, they're power lines, the transformers that are exploding. I'm not saying that those weren't part of the cause, but I kind of I find it.
It does.
If it all comes back to the transformers blowing up,
yeah, and that's
in this water marshal guy in Hawaii,
needs to be brought up on several thousand counts of negligent homicide because he withheld water until it was too late. And members of that police department that refused to let people get to safety and instead watched them burn on Front Street, drown in the bay right there, or get swept out to sea. That police department needs to be disbanded, reinstituted from the ground up with a brand new chief of police and a whole new class of recruits, ones that are dedicated to the constitutional constraints that are afforded to a police department, and B, value the sanctity of life above all else. Okay. And it's one of those situations where you kind of look at it and you're like, you almost hope that either A, Jesus is about to come back for the second coming, or B, unfortunately, we might be staring down the barrel of the first salvo in an armed insurrection of America's citizens rising up against their government to reboot this great constitutional republic that we've seemingly pissed away over the last few elections.
Yeah, but we also can't forget the other reasoning why the fires happens because of climate change too.
Oh yeah, you can't forget climate change.
Yeah.
You know,
But
but
interrupted on your speech, but I was like, what about climate change?
the power distribution company needs to be held liable because they didn't de-energize the power grid, and this single individual, this what was his name again? Kalo Manuel. I mean, the dude is wearing a freaking Hilo Hattie shirt. Hilo Hattie is a very popular handmade brand of Hawaiian shirt. Huh?
Oh, send me the link. I want to see this shit.
All right. Let me do this here. I'm going to send it to you via Twitter.
Oh, cancel that. Fuck.
This copy link. Come over here. I'll just send it to you in a text message here. Hold on just a second, David.
Oh, okay.
Paste and boom. There you go. I mean, it's even in the thumbnail. If you look at your thread, if you look at our text thread,
yeah,
the guy's wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt in the office.
Well,
Like, I get that you're the water dude, but at the very least, have a fucking shirt and a tie on. I mean, what is this? It's like he got called in from a massage parlor, and he's pissed off because he didn't get his happy ending. He had to do a Zoom video.
Well, you also have Texas. Most people don't wear suits in Texas; they just wear collared shirts. So I understand.
Look,
when you're in the
he is a state official. Okay, state official, and
that's like their suits, though.
Dude, no, come on. I mean, in all seriousness.
Yes, he should have had like
professionalism is a thing.
Yeah.
You know, we had to conduct ourselves as professionals when we were in the military.
Yeah.
We have to conduct ourselves as professionals, as grown-ass adults out in society today, or this cancel culture will eat us alive.
Yeah.
Okay. This ass clown decides he's going to grab the first shirt off the rack at the duty-free shop at the Honolulu International Airport and wear it to the office because he thinks it, what, a good idea? We've already demonstrated that he doesn't use that brain that's between his ears for anything closely resembling cognitive thought. I mean, he's lucky to probably use it to keep his damn ears apart. How about the gray matter between his ears? Keeping his
Yeah, I got that. I'm looking up on Twitter and everything, but they just posted Trump's mugshot.
Yeah. It's political theater, dude. That's
Yeah,
all that it is.
which is bullshit on that. But going on the other topic of the week, Putin popped back. He did a mastermind Bond villain after like what 3 months.
Shot down the Wagner leader and his staff. His entire staff was on that plane.
But it was Ukraine that did it, though. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah,
gotta- you have to
Ukraine
believe the
got into
propaganda.
Moscow and shot down the Wagner leader's plane over Moscow airspace. It was the Ukrainians though.
Yeah. They're pretty good. And what's like all things internet I love about it. You have 3 scenarios of how that happened, and he's still alive. I just love the internet sometimes.
Wait, that Wagner leader's still alive?
Yeah. In one theory, here's the theory. They had an explosive device on the plane. They found it. They shipped the pilots to carry out the plane and everything. The Wagner group stayed on the ground and let the plane get blown up. So even though the actual Wagner group mercenaries, and yes, they are mercenaries,
who had, that's why I think it was at just over half of the Russian military ready to jump on their side as they marched through Red Square.
yes,
oust Vladimir Putin. Yeah.
But the Wagner group is going against Russia yet again, from what some of the posts are. They're ready to attack Russia. So, the more I deep dive into stuff, which I'm still working on the deep dive with Angry Me. I think I'm just going to keep it what the hell. But
well, no, we can keep what the hell. But if you're going to do deep dives like a conspiracy theory themed show, yeah, definitely call that deep dive.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? We've got 3 shows total under our umbrella. We might as well just add a 4th because who the hell has
so much fucking time.
Yeah, we have so much time.
I was telling that to one of my coworkers. I did that to one of my coworkers. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna do some overtime?" I don't have time. My hobbies take up most of the time. It's like, why should I have to show up for work? I was like, my hobbies actually have a benefit to where it would make me money one day. It's not like, and I enjoy
my career is getting in the way of my vocation.
Once it does that, yes, I'll quit my job and start doing this. Of course, the first day that it happens, I'll probably get canceled by something I said like in 2001 that a ex coworker found and put up on her internet.
Yeah, I'm. Hold on a second here. Hold on.
But yeah, it's funny that because that's the reason why I wanted to talk conspiracy with Kenny, is the basic thing of when it comes around to it's like the telephone game. It really is. I mean, someone has an idea of what's going on, and then boom, it becomes like hands to God truth, because a certain friends of theirs actually believe it.
Right. I mean,
Not even friends. I would say like internet friends type deal.
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, I've got 2,000 Facebook friends. How many of those people know what your fart smells like? Those are your friends.
Yeah,
Right.
it tastes like wintergreen almost. The just shitty wintergreen.
I
Not
don't
like,
know who
like
you're talking about because that ain't mine, dude. Like, I'm not talking about farts. I'm just not doing it.
Come on, buddy.
God.
Well, it's like okay. It's like the sense of humor. I mean, everybody has a different flavor, and everybody tries to test me up at work about my type of flavor of jokes and what is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only like 2 other people that when I say this stuff, they're like, "Oh, that's fucking hilarious." And the person that was thinking they were catching me to do a gross moment because I ended up almost making them throw up one time of what I actually learned.
Yeah, we had this one guy. I mean, he told. I say this joke was off color. We're talking. He jumped off of the spectrum of colors, went past the neutrals, went past the earth tones. He jumped straight into the dark arts. He got his ass beat for it. I mean, it was one of those. It's not only one of those jokes that you don't tell around your mother. It's one of those jokes that even the devil would look at you and be like, "Really, you went there? Okay." You know, and I'll tell you after the show, but
Yeah.
good God, dude. I'm just like, what?
Well, I'll say it after. We really need to have like a Patreon to where we can do the backstage. Well, some of the
Right,
stuff
with a disclaimer that you're gonna hear some fucked off shit. Why is everybody looking at me through the window when I tell them to come to the door? They just walk away.
It's the deer in the headlight.
I'm guessing so.
Yeah. But yeah, so far, well, we got that. We also have the GOP debates, which, in my opinion, it's August 24th, 2023. Why are they even? Because usually they don't have like the the Republican or the Democratic conventions like until like September, October timeframe.
Mm-hmm.
So why are they doing the convention, the debates now?
Well, they're okay. So
Because some people are saying it's just a ratings grab.
no, I don't think that it's a ratings grab. Okay, now you're not the incumbent party.
Yeah.
All right, so you don't have the luxury of just going, you know what? The guy that's in there now, he's our candidate. With the field as large as it is now, I mean, we really need to thin the herd. I mean, seriously. And I know that we hear this every election, but the future of our country is at stake.
Yeah. Oh,
And
hands down. That's
well, no. I'm getting there. So, you know, it's we need to understand who is wanting to represent the conservative party. Who is willing to stand up and certify themselves as the closest thing to a Reagan conservative that we have seen since Ronaldus Magnus left office in 1988. Okay. With the exception of the Vivek, damn it. I
I
cannot
know.
think. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I sent you the podcast.
And you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Donald Trump. I'm not necessarily a MAGA guy. All right. I'm not conservative. Well, I mean, I'm conservative. And I'm not a Republican. I'm definitely not a Democrat.
not even so much of a libertarian. I mean, I'm a Reagan conservative. I identify as a Reagan conservative. It's even on my Twitter bio. Okay. I believe that America should be that shining city on a hill. That we have a peace through strength, trust but verified, and we have a small but limited government. You know, I think Margaret Thatcher, she said it best. She said that the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. And when the Constitution was being framed, I think it was either Thomas Jefferson or Thomas Paine, I can't remember which, wrote an argument for the Constitution. I think it was Thomas Jefferson. In his book or in his paper, said that if men were of angels, there would be no need for government because men would not break laws, they would not sin. But because men are not of angels, we have the need for a government, albeit a small but limited government. And we need to get back to that. FDR really started to, I mean, he really got ballsy before he died, you know, creating all these government programs, expanding the size of government. And he did it while America was at war on two fronts. And
James Madison.
James Madison?
Yeah.
Was it James Madison?
Yeah. Quote by James Madison: "If men were okay." Here's the entire quote.
All
No government would be necessary if angels were to govern men. Neither existential, internal controls on government would be necessary, and framing a government which is to be administered by men over men. The great difficulty. God damn it. The great difficulty lies in this. You must first enable the government to control the governed, and the next place obligation to control itself. So
yeah. So I mean, it's, you know, we've got, you know, it. I find if it turns out that this is a very liberal elite land grab, and that there are people who are, you know, players in this grand political theater, right? And then we've got the playwrights, the ones who are writing the script, and then you've got the directors, right? I think everybody that's involved with the the attempted murder of our country, you know, I would say bring them up on charges of treason. Definitely have them held in contempt and you know, violating the oath that they swore to when they took office.
yeah, I just started
And if
listening.
anything else, we didn't, you know, okay, so the only reason why we vote for our representatives now is because Congress changed that rule. It used to be where the state legislatures would go and they would pick representatives to go to Washington, and you would serve 2 terms. We need term limits back. Okay. We can still vote for whomever it is that we want. Keep that system in place. Fine. Because that allows the people to have a say in the representation, but limit them to 2 terms. 2. Just 2 terms. And yes, you're seeing these, right?
This is so funny. I was about to say something like,
we've got, you know, we've got Joe Biden sitting there getting out of his vehicle, and he's being asked, "Hey, Mr. President,
Joe, you want to comment on the Maui fires? And he's like, hold on, I got to do this properly here.
No comment.
You know, and I'm just like, really? Is it because you can't string together a coherent thought because you haven't held an actual job? Need I remind everybody that there are stars on the wall at Langley, at CIA headquarters, that are a direct result of Senator Joe Biden during his time on the Senate Intelligence Committee, demonstrating time and time again his inability to keep his mouth shut as it relates to classified information and operations. There are stars on the wall at Langley that belong to dead agents, dead Americans, because your current commander-in-chief didn't know how to do his job.
Yeah. But
We install him. Well, I say we, I'm talking about the Democrat Party, installs him as president for no other reason than the fact that they know that the guy's not there. I mean, he's about 5 cans short of a 6-pack. And it's not good beer either. I mean, we're talking Bud Light.
well, there's a lot of speculation of why he is in office. Well, we know he's a puppet because
Well, that's just like with Obama. Okay.
But
Obama started as a community organizer and a senator from the state of Illinois. You're going to tell me that you're going to run, that you're going to have less than 1 term in office, and suddenly you have the political experience necessary, the life experience necessary to be the most powerful man in the free world, to be the leader of the free world. That does not happen without somebody doing favors for somebody else and other people being silenced either physically, mortally, or financially. Okay.
Yeah, just recently his cook was
Yeah, and his cook probably saw him sucking off Michelle, and then boom, he shows up drowned to death in 8 feet
Oh no,
of water.
you haven't heard, have you? About the Obama papers?
Oh, the thing about the letters where he wrote his ex-girlfriend telling her that he fantasizes about homosexual experiences, and how more than likely the Obamas had Joan Rivers killed. Because she was the first person to come out. I think it was TMZ. They got in her face about it, and they said, "Do you think that we'll ever have a gay or transgender president?" And she goes, "Well, we've already got one. There, it's Obama, right?" Like she publicly stated Michelle Obama is a man. Like, yeah, and Barack Obama's gay. 3 weeks later, she died.
That
I understand that the principle behind the term coincidence. I understand what the definition of it is. Okay. But there's also such a thing as too convenient of a coincidence. Again, there's no smoking gun, just like with Maui. There's no smoking gun. No pun intended. I understand that we're talking about a fire. There's a bunch of red flags. But nobody has been able to nail down who the fucking color guard is that hoisted those flags up. Because I guarantee you, that's just like the thing with the Kennedy assassination papers. They were supposed to be declassified years ago. The reason why they have not been declassified is because there are people that were involved with that operation that are still alive. That's why usually whenever, non-disclosure agreements, as far as the government are concerned, are filled out and signed, they usually start at 50 years.
Oh my God, you're not wrong. Okay, this is back in 2014.
Mhm.
The estate of late comedian Joan Rivers filed a lawsuit Monday in New York City Supreme Court detailing allegations of missteps by an outpatient Inoxaby. That's what it is, Inoxaby.
Mhm.
Facility and physical caring of Rivers during the August 28 procedures that the New York medical examiners said ultimately led to her death. Attorneys for the estate say they were suing for damages and said that the family wants to make certain that the many medical definitions that led to Joe's River death are never repeated by any outpatient surgery center. Jesus, you might not be wrong.
Joan Rivers, and it kind of it leads into the whole. I know you can't take me seriously when I've got these right.
Yeah,
It
I
leads
can,
into
but
the whole
everybody else
right. But here's the thing. Let's take a deep dive. All right, just maybe a little quick jaunt into the deep end of the pool. With child trafficking being the way that it is, as big of a problem as it is in our country alone. Okay,
and in
you've got all
Hollywood.
these celebrity deaths, right? You've got Chris Staley, you got Chester Bennington, you got Robin Williams, right? Somehow they were, and even far back as Kurt Cobain, right?
Yeah.
Because there's rumors that Kurt Cobain was about to testify something to the effect of child trafficking within the music business.
Harvey Weinstein after because something happened with his wife. Fucking, I can't remember.
Yeah, so
I can't remember her name.
Courtney Love.
Courtney Love.
Now, so all of these celebrities that may not have been in the best of healths because drug abuse, but Robin Williams, out of nowhere, decides I'm going to hang myself. Chris Staley, overdoses, right?
Chris Staley.
Kurt Cobain just decides one day that he's going to leave his daughter and blow his brains out. Chester Bennington, dude gave no indication, zero. This was a complete shock to his crew. And by crew, I mean family and his bandmates. Guys that he had known since before he met his wife. Okay. His kids, the last memory that his kids have of him is that dad was in a great mood. Dad was happy. Now all of a sudden we're hearing about devastating depression, and he ends his life. Keith Carradine, I understand that he got choked out by a Taiwan hooker, but weird things happen in Taiwan, man. I mean, really.
No, David Carradine
Or was it Keith?
David Carradine did erotic asphyxiation.
Well, that's what they say. Anyways, but these high-profile celebrity deaths, musician, actors.
Well, they're even saying like right now Keanu Reeves is being blacklisted. This is supposedly being blacklisted because he's on the he's helping out like Mel Gibson, Mark Wahlberg, and I can't remember his name. The guy that's doing that, the main actor from Sound of Freedom,
Jim Caviezel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wouldn't doubt it. And because Hollywood has been for years trying to figure out a way to villainize or vilify Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, they can't really do that because he's actually such a good guy. This won't
be a good guy.
Yeah. It's one of those things is like, oh, he's the villain. I was like, of what? The Lollipop Guild? I mean, that's the only thing that I'm like, Keanu Reeves punched a midget. Oh, that's part of the movie. Actually, he wasn't all for it, but acting.
Yeah,
but not in real life. I mean, all the great stuff that
when Ricky Gervais did his now very famous opening monologue at the Oscars, I think it was.
Golden Globes.
Was it? Yeah, Golden Globes, right? About how Harvey Weinstein.
Literally put everything out in the line.
I mean, he put everybody on blast, and the one person that was in that room who was laughing because he's just like us was Adam Driver.
Oh yeah, he was fucking.
I mean, he was laughing his ass off, and everybody's in there going, "Ooh, they're sweating."
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, okay, Adam Driver's not with the crew.
Yeah, I mean, he's not down with the sickness, right? I would love to see if we can try to get him on the show. I mean, that would be great, and we wouldn't inundate him with Star Wars questions or anything like that. But
I would, because I didn't like the episodes. I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan of the sequel trilogies either. I think they mishandled the character of Ben Solo. I really do.
I mean,
yeah, I guess
I understand how they,
because at this point, really, I mean, because even now George Lucas is now finally going public with videos of him openly critiquing the sequel trilogy, which I think is hilarious. And he's like, "Oh, there's my name. I guess Daddy's getting a check."
Yeah. No, that was it. That wasn't George. That was an AI. They yes, it was face swap. You can't tell.
I mean, I thought he looked a little emaciated, but
yeah, that wasn't. No, that wasn't George.
That'd have been hilarious, though. But still, I mean, I want to get. I would like to get Adam Driver on the show just to kind of get his take on things.
Yeah, because I'm not saying he was a bad actor. I'm saying that
the guy's great. I mean, he was in he was in that movie with Lady Gaga about the Gucci family.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, dude, that was a good movie.
Was it?
I mean, he was a flaming prick in that movie, but it was a good movie.
No, there was a movie to where he was a one-armed man, and with Channing Tatum and the Bond guy.
Really? Daniel Craig? Oh,
fuck, I can't remember the movie.
It was like Lucky something. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Hold on. Calm your tits.
Hell, the only time frame that I really like to I watch stuff is like if he's on SNL. Oh God, his fucking skits. I
would love. I mean, I usually try to avoid SNL like the plague, just because I'm just like
Logan Lucky,
yeah. But he was amazing in House of Gucci. And then let me see here, White Noise, dude. That movie was a little trippy. It was hard to watch sometimes, but I'm like, because he seemed like an uber ultra cerebral guy that his wife was just, dude. It was.
Well, that in Black, the one
that know that he was in Bob's Burgers. Episode for season 14, episode 1. He's gonna be in an episode of Bob's Burger that premieres Sunday, October 1st.
Oh, okay.
I am down with that.
I watched the Black Klansman, and he was really good in that too.
Really?
Yes. I mean, it's an all-star cast, so the whole thing was like really good.
The Black Klansman.
Mm-hmm. With Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's a Spike Lee movie.
John David Washington.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But it was a damn good movie. Man, he is literally getting a lot of good acting jobs. Paul Walter Holzer.
Yeah.
He's
I haven't watched it yet, but 65 is on Netflix.
who was it that told me that was a good movie? I forget. I think it was
I've heard nothing but good things about it. One person even called it it was basically a live action Turok.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of down with that. For those of you who don't know who Turok is, do your homework. I'm not going to explain it to you. See, I mean, even the little hand is I mean, like the little hand has got nothing for you. Talk to the hand, yo. Anyways,
Yeah, we got about that.
Marriage Story, dude, I could not finish that movie. No, it's just because that movie kind of came out right as I'm going through my divorce.
I just love that one scene. I just had sex and I had nachos. Yeah. No, I get it because I've watched a movie that was really, really, really good, but when I watched it, I was in a depressed state and I didn't like the movie. And then anytime I try to watch it again, I was like Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor, it was already a depressing movie, and I was coming off of Ava's death.
Yeah.
And I was trying to rewatch it to get kind of like the feelings again.
I tell you what movie pisses me off every time. I mean, it makes me proud to be an American, but it pisses me off every time I watch it.
13 Hours?
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, man, I'm telling you what, dude. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
But anyways, we can close it on that note. And tomorrow we'll try for the are you gonna be able to do the Jeffrey Epstein episode?
As of right now, probably I would go ahead and pencil me in. I will let you know tomorrow definitively.
Okay, so
hopefully our partner in crime will be up and running.
oh, he has the kids tomorrow. That's the reason why I don't really include him on like the what the hell on some of the episodes.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
All right.
on the days
That's
that I
right. That's right. It's his weekend. That's right. You know what?
I
All
have
right. I'll just spend tomorrow doing my homework on it. I got a moment of rest tomorrow because we got a little bit of
you got a little bit of rain. You know, they were saying that Texas and parts of Louisiana and everything are in a like heat bubble.
Yeah, well, I mean, we got a little bit. I mean, when I say we got a little bit of rain, it poured for like 20 minutes, then it stopped, and then it drizzled for like 30 minutes, and then it stopped.
Yeah, that's what happened with the cold.
I mean, it was overcast like the day before and all that morning, and then right about 12:30, the clouds parted, and I'm just sitting there going, you know what? I'm ready for a big storm down here because I have to go outside every night and water my foundation. Dude, it fucking sucks, dude. I'm sitting here, like the first year, like last year, dude, we got plenty of rain last year. Plenty of rain, right? Had mosquitoes for days, but we didn't have to worry about the grass dying or the foundations cracking from underneath us. This year, it's dry as fuck, dude. We have no mosquitoes, but it's so damn hot that the ants are coming inside. And I'm having to spray daily for ants. And it's not that we're nasty.
Just put 7 dust in your lawn.
The what?
7 dust.
Well, yeah, I've got to go get some, but
fucking works.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some. I'm also gonna throw some borax soap out in the yard too, because borax is supposed to be sweet, and then they carry that back to the colony and they feed it to the queen and she dies.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Okay, I'm down with that. But yeah, I've got to get my yard mowed. I plan on getting up early to do that before it gets stupid hot up or down here. But yeah, my first tropical depression experience down here, dude, it was kind of a letdown because everything shifted south and it made landfall at South Padre Island. And I'm just like, oh, dude, we needed the rain so bad here. It's stupid. I'm just like, good God.
Anyways, I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
And this is what the hell. I think I called it like
Maui gone wide. Maui gone wild. See, I'm hanging out with you too much because I'm starting to form a bit of dyslexia myself.
That's not how it happens, but okay. Anyways, everybody, thank you all for watching. Thank you
I
all.
see what you did there. I see what you did there. Okay. Good night, everybody.